When you have a newborn child, one of the last things on your mind should be that you're not spending enough time with them or that your mind is distracted because you have to go back to work soon or you're worried about how much money that you're having because you're simply just not at work. Having a newborn child is definitely one of the most beautiful things to happen in a young couple's life, especially it could be one of the best things to happen in a young couple's life. It could also be very stressful time, simply just because of the work factors, not spending enough time with your new family, and not giving yourself a strong impression on your new family as well. When you return to work, especially for new fathers that may not get as much time as the mothers, or may not have enough vacation time to save up past their paternity leave, it can be very, very difficult to keep focused and keep productive while at work. Lots of fathers are always worrying about how either their children will be doing at daycare if mom didn't give enough time off either. A lot of fathers are worrying that mom might be a little stressed out dealing with the newborn children on their own. Especially with parents that have multiple children, it can be even more stressful just simply because they're not there to help, especially with younger children as well, that may not understand the situation and what's going on. So, productivity at work can definitely suffer significantly if both parents don't have that much time to spend with their newborn children at home before returning. A lot of the stress with having a newborn child, lack of sleep, again, worrying about daycare, trying to figure out new schedules and who's going to change the next diaper, who's going to wake up early to feed the baby. It's stress. That's just as much of a blessing. It can be stressful. Um, I don't have a child of my own quite yet, although I do work with many people that are having newborn children, and they it's just always a blessing, but it is very difficult, especially when it comes to younger couples that have their first child, and especially if it's earlier in their marriage or the relationship. Um, Simply just because dad feels like he's not there enough, and that can also put stress on mom. Mom feels like she's doing everything, and when dad gets home, he might be too tired or just exhausted from his work to where he may not make as strong as an impression. It could be also the same with mom if dad was home. Uh, Mom gets stressed out, too tired. She just wants to sit and relax and maybe just hang out and hold her baby. And dad might feel like she's not helping or anything like that. It goes really back and forth. Spending more time with your newborn children can make a very strong difference for their future alone. Every it seems like every couple's goal when they have children is to be as family oriented as possible. And of course, you want to spend as much time with your child as you can. Uh, Lots of people, they're looking forward to when leaving work is just going home, holding their children and spending time with them, playing with them, and as well as spending time with their significant other. Research has shown that parents that do tend to stay home more with their kid, uh, at, with more with their newborn children, those children seem to grow up to be more relatable to their parents. They seem to want to spend more time with their parents and be more family oriented, which is a fantastic trait. Um, a great example, well, due to studies, it's kind of hard to say it's a real example, but my wife, when she was little, both of her parents took a significant amount of time off of work. They used up all their vacation, and ever since she was born, they've made it very clear that there's family time and there's personal time. And to this day, although we're in a completely different country, she absolutely loves to spend time with her parents. She calls them almost every day, and that is just a part of her life. Compared to me, my father he was around, but not a whole lot when I was a child. And then once my parents got divorced, it was stretched even thinner. Although I got weekly, every other week I went to go spend time with my dad, and my dad did everything he can for me and my brother to make sure that we were together and we felt like a family. There were also times where even my dad and my mother, even at the beginning of the divorce, would make an agreement. We'd cook a big dinner, we'd watch some movies, and we would have our family time. But we still pretty much grew apart. And although I still love to spend time with my family, it's not always the first on my list. Spending time with your newborn children should be equal for both parents. Of course, there's obvious reasons why the US law gives mom more time to spend with the newborn when it comes to feeding, the motherly connection. Not to mention, mom is still healing from the birth herself as well, still adjusting and getting back to normal. However, both roles as parents are equally as important. Um, Dad wants to be home to help mom and to help the baby adjust, heal, and get used to the way things are. So both roles are just as important, and in my opinion, as long as mom and baby are still recovering and healing together and growing, I think dad should also be there to help in the journey, as well as make an imprint with their child. Compared to other countries, America is very far behind on the amount of time. Certain states do permit specific time off required. So basically, I'm from the state of Oregon, and about 3 years ago, when I was still there and working at a Toyota dealership, it was law that dad had to have 2 weeks off for the birth of a new child. The company that I worked at, they went only by those 2 weeks, and then you had to take your vacation on top of that, which the company did not give a lot of vacation. The most vacation that you can have at any given time, if you're a 5-year employee full time, you can have 3 weeks. So a total of 5 weeks is quite a bit of time. However, compared to other countries such as Vietnam, the United Kingdom, or Belgium, you can have upwards of 40 weeks paid off for maternity leave, and it's guaranteed to have a job back. Now, with those weeks, you do have to make occasional show ups to your company. Basically, kind of just check up on your work, and make sure that when you do come back to work, you still remember basically how to do your job. I have a Belgian friend specifically who I talked to about, and he has 3 beautiful children, and he did get his 40 weeks for each child. And basically, every other week, he went in to work just for a couple hours to, again, help out, see how things are going. But the companies were so relaxed, they wanted to make sure that they weren't holding him there too long. When he did get there, they made sure that he was nothing but comfortable and welcome back into the environment. Especially when he did return back to work, his managers and his bosses greeted him with open arms, and they allowed him to take it slow to get back to how he was before he went on leave. Touching back to making an imprint on the child's life, family time is important for everybody to maintain a happy relationship within their family. There's nothing I love more than coming back home from work and spending time with my wife. And I just know when we have a child, just like everybody else I've ever known to really have a child, that's the one thing that they're always looking forward to when coming back from work. They just want to sit down, relax with their family, play with their family, and just enjoy each other's company. That's the whole point of making a family, is to enjoy each other and to bring new beautiful life into the world. It is very important as the child develops throughout the years, all the way into adults themselves, that adapt the same traits. The more time you spend with the family, usually the better off they are in the future, and the more loving and caring they also are. That being said, children that may not have as much family time don't also turn out bad. They also adopt the same traits, but it is equally important that family time is brought together and shared together.